Welcome back everybody to this Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. This is episode 6 on our journey to Minmus. Now if you joined us last time, we built a craft to get to Minmus. Looks like this now. And we launched it and we got our encounter with Minmus. We lined up our inclination and we just missed the moon on our way there, which just worked out great. And we got our periapsis at about 31,000 meters. So here we go. We're off to Minmus. We're just gonna do a little time warp, and this will be great. We can actually look at the moon getting closer without worrying about smashing right into it. That is, unless the computer was wrong and we actually are gonna hit it, but I think we're just gonna be okay. I trust in the computer. Famous last words, right? So there's Jeb looking at his radar altimeter, even though it's not doing anything. He's looking at the vastness of space and pondering the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. And all sorts of stuff. Altimeter's going nuts. Alright, let's see what we got. We're getting close to that moon. And if you see just past the tip of the ship, that little flickering ball of light is Minmus. I'd point to it with my mouse pointer, but it looks like the recording program I used doesn't allow the mouse to show up in the actual post. I'm not sure if I can do anything about that because, well, I checked online, I checked out the program, and there's just no, there's no option for it. So I might have to switch to a different recording software. We'll see. I mean, if it's a really big pain in the ass, comment, let me know, and I'll try to fix it. If it doesn't bother you guys, I might just leave it. So there's the moon. It looks like this is about as close as we're going to get to it. Hello, moon. As Minmus gets a little bigger. Alright, let's ramp this up a little bit. We'll go to 1,000 times. Oh, what is this now? Oh, I guess, okay, so that's saying that on the way back, if we don't do anything, we're gonna have a moon encounter. But did we lose our Minmus encounter? It looks like it, but this game is so strange like that. Let's see. I'm gonna slow it down. I'm gonna point towards Minmus. I'm just pointing towards this pink reticule on the nav ball here. There it is. So it's growing. Now, if it turns out that the computer was wrong and we're gonna miss it, we can always make little minor adjustments. But we're gonna see. We're just gonna get up here. Even though we're at 1,000 times warp right now, our velocity is so slow that it appears like we're not moving anywhere at all. And again, that's because we're so close to the apoapsis of our curve that our velocity is just tiny. It looks like we're going to arrive at the exact same time as Minmus. I can't see us not getting this encounter. Let's just put it that way. Yep, I knew it. Okay, that's I had my finger on the time break. I knew it. All right, so we are now in this little ball. We're in its gravity. What little gravity it does have. So I always like to start right on the equator. Whoa, that's jumpy. I'm just gonna zoom out. That usually fixes it. Add the maneuver node, and we're just gonna pull these toggles until they're straight up and down. That's a good way to usually tell. It's a 1.5 meter per second change. You'll notice that all your maneuvers for low gravity bodies are gonna cost way less than, say, doing maneuvers over large planets. My thrust is at like 1%, and we're done. And we're done. Let's just see, do I want 30 as my periapsis? Now with Minmus, you can get real close. So let's just oop, it's jumpy. I'm gonna zoom out, get that maneuver. Let's just pull it into about 12. I like 12 is probably fine, so find that node. There we are, and let's just do 1% burn again. $14, $13, $12. Here we are. So there's our periapsis, 12 kilometers above the surface. So what we can do is go out to the periapsis, place our maneuver node again, and just pull this in. You have to slow down enough to be captured. And I guess because Minmus is tiny, this is probably going to be the biggest burn we're going to have to do, aside from the one getting us here. Because, you know, the planet is so tiny, or the moon is so tiny, that we have to slow down a lot. Like, even 200 meters per second is too fast. We'll escape Minmus, and we'll then escape Kerbal and go flying halfway to Duna. That's like the running joke. We'll be halfway to Duna. A joke that I made by myself. Alright, here we are, zooming in. Wow, looks like we're gonna smack right into it. I trust the computer, right, computer, right? You would never let me down like you did before, right? You were just joking. I don't know if you can hear that. It's my cat meowing in the background. She's begging me to let her outside, but it's raining, and she'll be scratching at the door in 5 seconds flat, so... Sorry, kitty. You have to stay inside. Alright, here we are. Burn at about 12 seconds. Oop, went a little too far there. Let's see what we got. Periapsis 600 meters. See, that's not good. So what's going to happen is we're going to hit this mountain. We went a little too far. We have a lot of fuel left in here, but I'm going to ditch it because I can't maneuver with this thing. It's too cumbersome. Hit the space again, activate our landing engines. That sounded a lot scarier than it really was. Kind of made a crashing noise. So let's point this thing at prograde and whoop. And let's get this orbit back into a safe distance here. That's weird. Okay, there we are, 12 and 12. Just kind of like jumping around for a second. Sometimes that happens with this game. It's really strange. Oh, was I smacking into it? Oh, I totally... Oh my god, I was just smacking into my booster. Holy crap. I got lucky there. That could have been disastrous. Did anything break? No, I think we're okay. Separation stage 4. Wow! Because of Jebediah's cunning maneuvers, he was able to minimize the damage. And we were okay. Also, let's not forget to deploy our panels, right? Wow, that could have been bad too. Man, I'm like dropping the ball in this episode. Sorry, guys. Kerbal back there is just a little sliver, a little crescent. It's a little crescent Kerbal with the moon to the left of it. Beautiful. Alright, let's figure out where we're going to land first. Not on the dark side, because I was looking at some of my videos again in post, and my god, you can't see anything on the dark side. Sorry about that, guys. It's just, for whatever reason, it just comes out really dark. Let's land right here in this little flat This little salt flat, I guess it is. So we're going to just kill our velocity like that. Maybe point down a little bit to make sure we're really in the middle there. And point at the node. And let's get to it. Now, it might rotate. Yeah, it's already rotating away from us, so we can always just adjust it. Always take into account the rotation of these bodies that you're orbiting. Some of them rotate ridiculously fast, and some of them rotate ridiculously slow. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna move this. Oop, don't die on me. Here we go. I'm just gonna move that right to there. If that circle ever turns red in there, it means it doesn't like the position you gave it for some reason. There's so many little quirky things with this game, but still, I love it. I love this game. I will never stop loving this game. Oh, wow, we almost went right past it. Okay, here we are. It's only going to be a 2-second burn. Whoa, we are so close to Minmus. Hello, Minmus. That is just pretty. This big ball of ice or salt or something. Okay, enough chit-chat. Let's do our burn. Deorbit burn. When it swivels around, that's how you know that you're going to crash. But we're not going to crash, right? We're better than that. Hopefully. So there we are. Again, I'm just going to quick save in case the cat jumps up and hits the space bar and jettisons the pod. That would be horrible. Poor Jeb would not recover from that one. He would then crash. Alright, putting the ship retrograde. Let's just rotate the ship around because I want to see what it looks like. Ah, look at that. We just see it slowly rotating there below us, ever so slightly. Gosh, that is cool. And we're probably going to be relying on the altimeter here because I don't trust the one on the top, but we'll see how we go. Let's just increase the time a little bit. It says we're going to land right over this next hill, pretty much right there. We're coming in. Now, this craft is, you know, I wouldn't say overpowered, but it's really powerful. We're not going to have to kill a whole lot of thrust because the gravity here is so small. Like you can see, we're barely moving in here. There's our booster up there. That thing's going to just orbit forever. Just coming in over the salt. I'm going to wait till we get a little further into the lake here. Don't worry, guys. It looks like we're going to crash and burn in horrible fiery death, but it's going to be okay. Alright, just flicked around the surface. Alright, so what we're going to do is just thrust, just to kill our lateral velocity. So you see the retrograde marker is pushing towards the top. That's a good indication that your lateral velocity is disappearing. That just means we're not going forward anymore. We're just kind of going to go straight up and down. And at this point, we're only 2,000 meters up. That's kind of what we want, right? We can descend like that. So it's tracking us. Finally have a good track. It says we're coming up on 2,000 meters up. Looks like we're right there, but it's farther than you think. Let's just see how accurate it is. We're coming up on 2,000. And 2,000. Okay, so we can trust the altimeter at the top. That's okay. We will trust in the altimeter. Where's the sun? There it is. So we should see our shadow somewhere in this region. There it is. Just the very, very early indications of a shadow. We're about a kilometer up. You can start to see the details now of the surface. It's going to do a little bit of a thrust just to really make sure we're now heading straight up and down. Also just to make sure we're not going to crash, right? So at this point, it's really just, it's a game of feathering the throttle, making sure that you're under 5 meters per second, but not going too slow because you'll start going back up again, and also chasing around the retrograde marker. You don't want to let that thing get away from you, just because it's going to want to squirm. You just want to keep it right where you're pointed. 75 meters up. It's going to increase the thrust a little bit. We're almost there, and engine cut. There we are. We are on the surface of Minmus. Just gonna do a little quick save right there. Okay. There we are. So let's let Jeb out. We'll extend the ladder even though we don't really need it, but you know, it's good for looks, right? When the TV cameras are looking and everything, they wanna make it look legit. Let's see if we can. Oh. Oh. Whoops, wrong button. Cut. Do it again. Alright. Come on. Come on, buddy. Yep. Okay, so we're not using ladders today, but it's okay, because look at that. My gosh, there's no gravity here whatsoever. Barely any. God, that looks pretty. There's the Kerbal Way galaxy, right? Ah, and there's Kerbin up there with the moon. That is pretty. Let's do a little jump, test the gravity, and we just keep going up. Put our little jetpack on here. Do some sightseeing. It's just flat as far as the eye can see. That's why it's called a flat, right? So that's why I'm saying these are the best places to land for Minmus, because you get a lot of room and it's just totally flat. And you know, there's basically a lot of room for error. You can muck around. Wow, I'm still floating here. I'm just sitting here going nowhere. Now we're starting to fall again. So I'm just going to press the control key and help us descend a little bit faster. I'm just also going to move out of the way so I don't smash into my ship. We've had enough collisions already. I'm just going to thrust the shift key. He's so happy right now. And there we have it. So, you know, you can spend as much time as you like. I'm just going to get back in and we're going to check out a different spot on Minmus. Maybe we'll check out one of the highlands. God, walking is like impossible on this thing. Here we are. He's made it to his ladder. Brave Jeb boards his craft again. Alright, so let's take a look at the map. We landed right there. I'll tell you what, let's go the other direction. Let's land up on this mountain up here, I think. So that's 270, I think. Let's see, the 90 is straight up. So yeah, we're going to want to point down to 270. I think that'll get us going clockwise. And just like the moon, it's going to barely take any thrust. You know, it's practically as soon as you're off the ground, just start turning. You know, and that'll do you. That'll do you well. Alright, and we're just gonna land it up here somewhere. Just like a little hop. We're just we're just hopping up here. Right? We just pointed our rocket where we wanted to go. And we're just jumping up the side of the mountain. And we can do it. We can do it because the gravity is so low here. It barely took any fuel. We have tons of fuel. I probably could have gotten away with just one of these Rockomax tanks. But, you know, like I said, I'm paranoid. I like to over budget the fuel. Alright, let's do a little warp. Can't warp. Yes, it can. I apologize for clearing my throat so much. I think I'm getting a little bit of a cold. It's just been like sleeting and raining and icing and snowing outside so much. Alright, at the apoapsis. Now we don't want to fall into that little ditch right there. That would it looks like we're going to be just on the lip of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point forwards and up just so that it lifts us over it, because I don't want to land in that little ditch right there. That would be bad for us. I'm going to go just past it. Again, I'm just going to make sure that the surface indicator is toggled up here. If it says orbit, it's going to be off a little bit. Pointing the ship retrograde now. Coming down. Wait till we get to about 2, although let's check the altimeter, right? Let's see. We are at about 2. Okay, see, it says 2, that's the realistic. Since we're up a little higher, we can't trust the top altimeter anymore. So I'm just going to start thrusting. Getting this thing so we just start falling. Do a little time warp. Don't worry, guys. We'll be alright. There's a lot of pebbles up here. Look at these little things. Three. Killing our vertical velocity. There's our shadow. And shut down. There we are. We're on these big little boulders. They looked like pebbles before, but they're actually just big boulders. We'll do a little F5 while about to crash. Okay. It thinks we're about to crash because I'm hanging out right above the surface. Let's go investigate one of these little boulders here. Sounds like someone's Steam messaging me. Just ignore that. Let's investigate these strange boulders on the face of Minmus. What could they be? Are they rocks? What are they made of? Oh! They're made of nothing! They're hallucinations. They're figments of Jeb's imagination. They don't actually exist. Jeb, what have you been doing on the whole ride up to Minmus? He's been doing some strange things, I think. He's hallucinating all these rocks. Only Jeb would do such a thing. No, but I think, I guess they just don't want to render it as a solid object. It would probably take a lot more memory, so I understand why they would do such a thing. But here we are on the highlands of Minmus now, right? I think we should now check out one of the poles. Let's go North Pole or South Pole? Let's go to the North Pole, right? See if maybe Santa Claus lives on Minmus. Maybe. They didn't specify which North Pole, they just said the North Pole. Well, it could be Minmus's North Pole. Alright, so we're going to just want to literally point north. On our nav ball, that's straight to the right, so I'm going to thrust, point right to north. Off we go. Going to point all the way over to get the most velocity. We don't need a whole lot of height. Cut it down right about there. North Pole looks like it's a little dark, shrouded in darkness, but that's okay. So now we just sit and coast. we're just going to coast all the way to the North Pole of Minmus. Now, if you're playing career mode, you can totally be taking surface samples and crew reports and EVA reports on all these biomes. There's one for the poles, there's two different flats. There's a highlands, I think there's a lowlands. So lowlands, I guess, would be like somewhere right down in there where it's a little lower but not quite a flat. Highlands would be these mountains. Obviously the poles is where we're going right now. So you could probably rack up, I don't want to say any particular number, probably a couple thousand science just from Minmus. If you build a craft like this, where you can just kind of hop around, you can really rack up the science. And you can't really do this on the moon. You might have to fly separate missions, just because the moon, you can't really hop like this on the moon. It's got too much gravity. But Minmus is just a damn gold mine if you're talking about farming like science. We're pretty much upside down. Wouldn't that be cool if we could land it upside down? I'm sure some of the Let's Players out there could do it. Alright. Gonna get the ship appropriately pointed. And we can actually probably use our landing lights in this case. I'm just gonna press the U key. Get the lights on so we can see where we're landing. Point the ship retrograde. Oh, don't want to go too fast. Let's see, how far up are we? Just about 2,000 meters at this point. I like visiting the poles of different planets. It's interesting up here. In some cases the sun kind of never quite sets or never quite rises, depending on, I guess, what season it is. Are seasons on Kerbal? I don't know. But yeah, it's true. The sun just never quite does what it's supposed to do. It just kind of floats around and does its own thing, just killing our velocity, lateral velocity that is. Here we are, 500 meters up. Jeb stares into space. Again, we have these strange pebble-looking boulder things. Oh yeah, we're getting there now. Make sure we're straight up and down. Really getting there now. I guess our shadow would be cast long. There it is, way over there. Probably can't really see it. It's just farther out there. Just barely thrusting, just to make sure we touch down lightly. There we go. And here we are on the pole. We're on the North Pole of Minmus. Let's get out. Stretch our legs once more. Just gonna be daring and just jump. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Kerbal and Moon right there in front of us. That is so cool. It's a little dark. We'll activate Jeb's lights. He's got a little set of lights. Press the L key. And let's do a little experiment. We'll do a little time warp. And we'll see, because we're on the poles, the sun no longer moves up across the sky. It just kind of moves sideways. Same goes for Kerbal. Look at that. Let's just see what happens. So the sun has set on Minmus, but I would venture a guess not for too long. There goes Kerbal, sinking into the horizon. It's probably already on its way back up again. And yep. Oh, sunrise again. Life is strange on the poles. You know, if any of you live in like Alaska or something, you probably, well, actually no, Alaska's, what am I talking about? That's that's not nearly north enough. Probably more like Canada or even further up there. You probably know what I'm talking about. The moon or the sun just kind of doesn't set in the summer, and it never rises in the winter, which is just so strange. Look at there's Kerbal just rising over there with the moon behind it. pretty. Alright, I think it's time to get off this rock, but it looks like we've come up on the half-hour mark, so we can save that for the next episode when we return from the surface of Minmus. God, it's pretty out here. Thanks for watching. This is Hot Jupiter. See you next time.